JJ, after they tied it at 91, what did you see specifically from Luca and LeBron kind of down the stretch, the kind of shots they're creating?
Thought we finally got organized. Didn't do a good job of getting to our spacing throughout the game. Finally got 3 people down the floor, corners filled. Kept going to empty side stuff, wasn't working. Just got spaced, and we got to our proper matchups and all that stuff. I mean, we created good offense at different points in the game when we did that. When we didn't get good offense. But I think overall, like again, Bron just kind of took over that game and felt like he was making a lot of plays with the ball and made some plays that don't show up on box score. And our guys' defense that last 5.5 minutes to hold them to 8 points, our guys were just scrambling everywhere. And Bron was sort of at the head of that, made a little adjustment in that timeout with Luka's coverage, just put him in a drop and just a little curveball, and thought we did a good job with that. And then, we don't win the game if Bron doesn't take over, and we don't win the game if Doe doesn't make 3 massive plays. Again, another one that won't show up on a box score, but Luka drives against the switch. He sets the Gortat screen. Luka gets the layup. He finally gets an actual dunk on the tip dunk, and not just touching the rim while he puts the ball through. And then the back tap steal on Kyrie that led to a Rui basket. So I just thought, he led the charge down the stretch of just making winning basketball plays.
JJ, how do you feel like Luka handled the emotions of tonight?
I thought he handled it well. Not a great shooting night, but made a lot of plays and had some good defensive plays as well. I just thought, he clearly was worked up to start the game. That's to be expected. But I thought he settled in. But I think some of the stuff with our offensive shooting woes was due to some organization problems and some spacing problems, and that affected everybody, and that affected him as well.
JJ, 2 for you to kind of piggyback on what you said about Dorian. Since you've gotten him, there has been kind of, I think, a through line in the overall team's ability, and when it comes to the little things. How does he set the tone for that stuff, and did you feel that kind of late on those plays you mentioned? And then I guess secondly, LeBron has been on this run now for a month plus, but defensively he's been one of your best players. How?
Again, he defies what's normal. I would say with Doe, occasionally he needs some, what's the opposite of gentle? Harsh. Some harsh needling, but he can take it, and then he's right back at it. He normally does a fantastic job of just setting the tone with the toughness. And, we had some fun yesterday with the team defining what a banshee is in different cultures, and define what a banshee is in Laker culture. And I think, Doe's a banshee. He leads that charge for us and sets the tone with winning basketball plays. And again, this is not an exaggeration. If you watch our basketball team every night, and you've watched our team now for the last 6 weeks or so, LeBron's playing at an all-NBA defense level. He is. And now, people may have perceptions of what he is as a defender. I watch it every night. He doesn't get scored on in isolation if teams do try to target him. He blows plays up. He's always in the right position, shifting, recovering. I think there was this perception of him at this age, like conserving energy. No, there's no conservation of energy on that end of the floor. He's played elite defense now for a while.
JJ, you mentioned in one of your previous answers to your left There we go. You mentioned one of your previous answers that you guys, it took you a while to get organized offensively, didn't really happen so late. You mentioned the spacing. How much do you think the way Dallas defended you guys impacted that, and how do you feel like your team handled some of the more aggressive defensive strategies that they put out there, especially more so against Luca, and how the rest of the group handled those?
Yeah, there was some good stuff that came from the doubles on the empty side posts, but overall, I just didn't think we played well out of that. And then on the fires from the top, really just very undisciplined with our spacing, and that led to some tougher shots, some late clock situations. Again, last 6 minutes, we were very intentional about what we wanted to do. We had a good group in there to get spacing with 5 lasers out there. So I think somebody always just had to sacrifice and get to the dunker. But Rui got the layup with 1:05 to go, and Doe gets the tip in, and Braun gets the follow dunk as well. Like we did a good job of just being organized.
JJ, when you guys made the trade in early February, this game's on schedule. Like, we know that you're playing the Mavs tonight and then April 9th. How does it feel to have it, I don't know if out of the way is the right terminology, but you've made this step, you got the win, and now you move on to the next stage of the season?
I think there's, it's not just for Luka. We talked about it before the game with the group. It's Max and it's AD, and we kind of just got to embrace it. It's just a little weird. It just naturally is. I've never in my life of playing basketball went to another team and then played them the first time and been like, oh, this is just another team. No, it isn't. It's healthy actually just to acknowledge it and embrace it, and then you play the game, and then you never have to do that again.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Luca, how did you just handle the emotions of the day and playing against your former team?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know. It's just so weird, the moments. Felt like I don't know what I was doing. I'm glad we got the win.
The last 5+ minutes, you and LeBron, there's a lot of different interactions on the court, and you finding him and vice versa. What was that like for you, and how are you starting to develop this chemistry so soon?
Yeah, JJ said in timeout, let's get organized. And once we get organized on offense, we got a lot of weapons. So that was really big, and he's doing that at 40 years old, which is insane. The takeover in fourth quarter was unbelievable to watch.
Luke, I want to ask you about a specific sequence with LeBron in the fourth. After Clay had hit the three to tie it, you're posting up Christie. You pass it back out to the three to LeBron. LeBron throws it back into you to repost. Eventually, you find him open and he hits the three. But just what was that kind of interaction like there for you?
I think I talk a lot about patience. I think that was one of the best examples about patience. We kind of went back and forth. We expected the doubles, so we just think patience.
Luca, JJ's talked about the blackout episodes, and midway through the first quarter, you hit those back-to-back threes. They take one away, but kind of turn and
How is that even possible?
you turned and let out that roar, and it seemed like you were kind of hyping yourself up. I guess JJ said he felt like you were kind of going through it in the first few minutes of the game, and then you started to stabilize a bit. Like, what was going through your head at that point?
Honestly, I can't remember. It was just a lot of emotions, not much sleep, but it was I can't even explain what. It was a different game. Like I said, sometimes I don't know what I was doing, and I'm just glad it's over, honestly.
Luca, obviously the emotions and stuff from the trade and the 7 years you've spent in Dallas aren't going to be undone in a night. But does playing them and being able to kind of put at least a tiny bow on it, does that help you, or do you think that will help you as you move ahead now that this is out of the way?
Yeah, it definitely will help me. I think, especially like I say, I'm glad this game is over. And just a little bit, like you said, it's definitely going to help in the long process.
Luca, coming into tonight, a lot of your teammates expressed excitement for you to have this game to come to be a play against the Mavericks. What did their excitement do for you? I guess how did you feel? I guess their energy, not just tonight, but coming into tonight for you.
Sorry, can you repeat?
How did you feel your teammates' energy? I guess galvanize around for you coming into tonight.
It was great. Like I saw Doro say, we got his back, and it was amazing. They're trying to push me. I know I didn't play great, but, I'm glad we got the win, and, they're trying to push me more and more.
A few weeks into this, what have you learned about playing with LeBron after watching him for all of these years, and also how is the defense growing as a team?
Yeah, I think our defense has been, we're playing a high level, but I know a lot of things about LeBron. Just watching him every day, I can learn so many stuff, and it doesn't change my mind. He's an amazing guy to watch and play with him.
Hi, Luca. Just a two-part question. One, I don't know if you saw Nico Harrison was there on the court when you were warming up, and then sitting right behind the Mavericks bench. If you thought about going over to him or saying anything to him at all. And then just the second part is, have you ever had anything like this trade happen to you in your life? Like whether, I don't know, a breakup or something like that. Have you ever had anything like this experience?
No, definitely not. That was different. I definitely didn't have like that. But yeah, I didn't see him at warm-ups.
Not at all. Not at all. Just in the warm-up.
Luca, you said you didn't play well. You still had a triple-double. Can you describe what was it about your emotions that you were struggling with? And you said you had lack of sleep when you look back at this game.
Like I say, it's a weird game, different game. But I can't even explain what kind of emotions were. It was just a lot of emotions, seeing the guys out there, seeing the guys I played. I went through a lot with the guys, so it was fun.
Luca, you have the handshake with Kyrie that you guys had in Dallas to start this game here. You go over to see Derek Lively after the game. Is there a specific moment, maybe with your old teammates, that you can share with us what that was like?
I mean, yeah, Kai is my hermano. We go way beyond basketball, so it was good to see those guys. Like I said, we went through wars together, and it was really fun to see them all.
Luka, were you looking for some kind of closure with what happened tonight to allow you to move on? And if so, did you feel like you got that?
I mean, the closure is going to take a while, I think. It just, it's not ideal. But, like I said, I'm glad this game is over. It was a lot of emotions. But we go little by little, and every day is better.
Luca, if I could take you away from basketball for just a moment. You've mentioned the joys of being a dad. When your baby girl gets older and she's facing a new transition in life, what advice do you think you'll give her?
You caught me with that question. I don't know. I would just, support my little girl and anything she do. I'm happy to see her grow up, and I want to be there for her.
Luca, buenas noches. Ahora en español, sobre cómo viviste las emociones de este partido desde previo al juego, el saludo con Kyrie durante el juego y después poder celebrar la victoria con los Lakers.
Bien, ha sido muchas emociones, seguro, pero bueno, ver los jugadores que he jugado, que he pasado mucho tiempo con ellos, hemos ganado muchísimos partidos, hemos ido through las cosas también duras, así que también estaba feliz de ver esos jugadores que jugué con ellos. Thank you.
LeBron, you've alluded to this a little bit before, but there's kind of a basketball shorthand that maybe Luca and you can understand about the way you see the game. There were a couple elements of that in that final stretch after they tied it at 91. What were you seeing kind of collectively together down the stretch there?
Well, just trying to make the right plays at the right time. I think over that last 5.5 defensively, we buckled down, we got stops, and then we just wanted to execute. Obviously we still, getting familiar about what, our late game package is, where we guys need to be, where we need to be able to execute and get great shots. And, we did that. We did that in that final stretch.
LeBron, there was obviously a lot of anticipation for this game and this matchup. How did you feel that Luca handled the emotions tonight?
As well as you can. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of emotion that goes in when you give so much to a franchise and you sacrifice for a franchise, and you have that type of love and respect for the franchise. And throughout all the journeys, went to the finals, all that stuff. And he's grown from being an 18, 19-year-old kid to now 25-year-old man and family and all that stuff. So you grow into a family with the franchise, and when you move on or they move on from you, it's very emotional. Obviously, it's very taxing, and it's probably a lot of things that was going on in his head that probably didn't even involve the game itself. So and with that said, I thought he handled it tremendously.
LeBron, in the first quarter, the team showed a video honoring Anthony Davis's return, and I know maybe sometimes you're not locked into what's going on the video screen. One, did you see it? And two, how did it hit you the way, obviously, the Lakers fans received him upon his return?
No, I definitely saw it. I watched it from start to finish. I mean, we know what AD was to this franchise and what he did for this franchise from the moment we got him. To hosting the Larry O'Brien Trophy, to All-Star nods, to we won the in-season tournament, first inaugural in-season tournament, and many dominant nights. Not only in this building but also on the road as well. And obviously, our friendship goes without saying. He was one of my best friends, and it was great to see him get that recognition and him get that moment.
LeBron, you had 16 points in the fourth quarter, but I think Dorian had 2. But there was a closeout in the corner, a Gortat screen that got Luka layup, and that poke away steal. Just what have his sort of intangibles meant to this team as it's kind of redefined itself here over the last 6 weeks or so?
Yeah, we knew exactly what we was getting when we got him. We knew we'd get things in the box scores, and then there would be things that didn't show up in the box score. He's just a winning player. He makes winning plays, and like you said, those 3 plays right there down the stretch, the Gortat screen, getting Luka that layup when the game was tied. I drove left on one of my possessions and missed a floater, and he tip-dunked it in, and then be able to get a tip from behind and got us another easy basket. 3 of the biggest plays of the game. So you got guys like Dodo. You just know that he's always going to make winning plays no matter wherever, from the first to the fourth quarter.
Hey, Bron, you're no stranger to the emotions of these big games and the pressure. Obviously, completely different circumstances, but playing against Cleveland for the first time after going to Miami comes in mind. What was your advice for Luka tonight?
No, I didn't have none, man. Obviously, we understood as his teammates that we wanted to try to get this win for him. Obviously, we know what transpired not too long ago. So, as his teammates, we wanted to try to back him no matter how, in any way, shape, or form. On the court, off the court, whatever, and I'm happy that I was, along with my teammates, able to make a couple plays down the stretch to get him this win. I know it's, probably won't say it, but I think it means something to him for sure. Anytime you face your former team, you spent 7 years with them, I believe, so it's tough.
LeBron, JJ said that he feels like you're playing at an all-defensive level right now, and you guys have had the best defense in the NBA since mid-January. What's fueling that extra pep? Do you see yourself as a driver of that?
Obviously, it's a collective thing, but I take that side of the floor very seriously. I take my matchups, very seriously every night, and to be able to, get stops in this league, it makes your offense that much better. But it's just individual pride for me. I kind of key in on my matchups. I key in on the pros and cons and what I guess what my guys want to do, along with other guys, because it's a lot of switching that goes on in this league. You're different matchups, so try to read the scouting report along everybody and just make it tough. So, yeah.
LeBron, JJ mentioned that throughout the game at various points he didn't feel like you guys are most organized, but were able to find that organization offensively late. I guess what helped you guys find the offensive organization? I guess what's the process been like the past couple of weeks trying to, I guess, consistently find that process-wise?
No, it did happen, and it was still early in the process, so it will happen. I mean, obviously the trade happened, and I think we had 2 games before the break. So we had 2 games before the break, and then we had a week off. So that doesn't help the process of us. Building that camaraderie and building the things that we want to do offensively. So it will come in every game, in every film session, every practice shoot around. We'll get an opportunity to be better and better. And I thought, in the last stretch when that game was tied, it showed what we're capable of. So we're going to have to just build off of that.
LeBron, so many times you talk about the process. What was it about the process that helped you this evening?
Just staying even keel, no matter what's going on in the game. We know teams are going to come here and they're going to play well. We knew they were going to play well. They didn't play as well as they would like to the other night versus Golden State, so we know we was going to get their best shot no matter who's in the lineup. So it's just about staying even keel, no matter if you're up 16 or you're down or you're tie game. How can you be as the best you can be on that possession and then the possession going forward? And I thought we followed that process and it allowed us to win the game.
Hey, Bron. Jay Kidd said before the game how the great ones can block the noise out and overcome. Do you agree? And if you do, you're a great one. How do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, it takes time. Jay is definitely right. But it takes time to be able to, go through experiences. I think the best teacher in life is experience. And, I guess when you first start off, you're not great. But that's your aspiration, that's your goal, and you want to become great. But you have to go through adverse moments. You have to go through things that you maybe haven't seen before. So if that happens again, you know how to handle it and how to channel it. So Jay Kidd is definitely right in the sense of being able to block out the noise. You may see it, you may hear it, but you still have the ability to kind of keep it at bay and block it out and keep the main thing, and that's the job at hand. Until you want to let it go. So, but Jay Kidd he's awesome. I appreciate it.